All right, JK, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to example 2. In this case, this is graphing a system, which means that we're going to be graphing 2 inequalities in this case. So let's go ahead and get started here. Once again, we do want to go ahead and rewrite them where we're going to be isolating the y here. So let's go ahead and get started with this first one. So I have, let's do it in orange. A 4x plus 2y is less than or equal to 4. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract a 4x on both sides minus 4x. And we have a 2y is less than or equal to a negative 4x plus 4. Final step in this case is to divide by 2. And you have to divide everything by a 2. So in this case, that would be y is less than or equal to a negative 2x plus 2. So that's the first one. All right, now let's go ahead and do the second one here. And we'll go ahead and use the same colors. So in this case, I will be subtracting first the 5x to both sides. And that's going to be 5y greater than negative 5x plus 25. Final step in this case is to divide by 5 everything. And we have y is greater than negative x plus 5. So we're going to go ahead and be graphing these two inequalities. All right. So we're going to go ahead and be graphing those. Once again, we want to go ahead and identify, whenever we're graphing, we do want to go ahead and identify the slope and the y-intercept. So starting off with this first one here, our slope in this case, guys, there's an invisible number there, which is going to be a negative 1. So slope is going to be rise over run, which in this case is just going to be a negative 1 over 1. All right. So let's go ahead and identify now our y-intercept. And y-intercept in this case, guys, is going to be the 5. So the y-intercept is going to be at the point 0, 5. All right. And let's go ahead and get started on that one first then. So let me go ahead and graph it here. All right. So this is x. This is y. Let's go ahead and start doing some labeling here. All right, so obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 4. All right. So let's go ahead and plot first our y-intercept, which in this case is going to be 0, 5, which is up here. And our slope in this case is negative 1, 1. So we're actually going to be going down 1, right 1. So once again, it's down 1, right 1. So we have our point there. And I could actually just continue and just make more points. Once again, we're just going to be connecting them. In this case, since our inequality symbol here is just a greater than, it's going to be a dashed line. So let's go ahead and create our dashed line. And that is the green one. All right. And in this case, guys, we want to go ahead and see what direction we're going to go ahead and be shading. So shading in this case, we're going to go ahead and use the point 0, 0. And I'm going to go ahead and use, let's go ahead and use the original one. So where's the original one? We have a 5y plus 5x is greater than 25. So wherever we see an x, we'll substitute a 0. So this is telling us that 0 is greater than 25. And in this case, guys, that statement is false. Statement is false. So that means we're not going to be shading where the 0 is. We're actually going to be shading on the other direction. So then this here represents the shading for our first inequality. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is this one here. So in this case, the slope for that one, so for this one, slope is going to be the point, or not the point, but it's going to be -2 over 1. And our y-intercept in this case is going to be 0, 2. So let's go ahead and plot that. And I'll go ahead and do that in this color. All right, so 0, 2 is here. And our slope in this case, it's -2, 1, which means we're going down 2, 1 to the right. Or I could also go up 2, 1 to the left. All right. So in this case, guys, we do have a less than or equal to, which means that our line here is going to be solid. All right, so that is our line, inequality line. Now let's go ahead and see where we're going to be shading. Once again, guys, for the shading part, I'm going to go ahead and use the point once again, 0, 0. You could choose any point, any other point, guys, but 0, 0 is actually the easiest point to work with because x and y are going to be 0. So if we do use the original equation here, we're going to go ahead and do 4 to the 0 plus 2 to the 0 is less than or equal to 4. So in this case, it's saying 0 is less than or equal to a 4. In this case, guys, that statement is true. It's true. So that means we're going to go ahead and be shading in the direction that we have the 0, 0. So that is our answer. That's how it is. All right.